Ladies and gentlemen, now this is the time for us to listen to Mr. Sanjay Deshpande, CEO and Chief Scientist, Uniken. After obtaining a master's degree in computer science from University of New Brunswick, Canada, Sanjay worked as a scientist with Center for Development of Advanced Computing, the R&D center that developed India's first supercomputer Param, and Tata Research Center, an R&D and division of Tata Consultancy Services in their imaging and pattern recognition group. Subsequently, Sanjay joined Infosys Technologies, a leading technology consulting firm, where he was first heading their mobile computing initiative for the Europe division and later headed the business development effort for their life sciences division in the US. Wanting to solve problems that impact lives, Sanjay started Uniken in 2003 with 4 other like-minded professionals who wanted to build a world-class innovation-driven ecosystem with the freedom to dream. Sanjay has several scientific publications and patents to his credit and has been working on symbolic representation schemes, his theory and applications to various technology problems. He takes active interest in teaching and leads the Uniken New Business Group apart from various other executive management responsibilities. May I request Sanjay Deshpande, CEO and Chief Scientist, Uniken, to kindly address the gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Being the last one in the speaker list has a lot of responsibilities, I understand. Listening to security and the fraudsters and the way they operate. I'm sure the whole day listening to just what phishers do, attackers do, has its own toll on all of you. So what I'm going to do is, in the next 15-20 minutes, I'm just going to ask you guys to just sit back, relax, and let's just go back to the basics. You know, as a mathematician, and I'm speaking here as a mathematician. So I started my career as a mathematician. I'm not a technologist in the first place. So this is my outlook about how this entire industry has panned out. And so we'll be going a little bit back, a little bit forward, and mostly forward at the end of this presentation. I'm sure by the time I finish what I have to say, there'll be a lot of questions. At least we will have a lot of things to dream about and imagine about as to how the technology will happen in the next few years. It's important for me to talk about Uniken here. It's not a name out there. It's a very young company. We started about 6 years ago. With the dream to set up an innovation ecosystem in India, because I always felt, coming from Infosys, I always believed that yes, it's possible to come out with world-class products. Yes, it's possible to file patents all over the world, and yes, it's possible to do business sitting in India. Okay, so it's important for me to mention that Uniken has an objective in innovation. Gopi worked with GE for 30 years. He worked with Jack Welch. He was the first Six Sigma Master Black Belt. He's a chairman of our board. Dr. Pat Shankar is a consultant to US Department of Defense. He was the head of Motorola Biometrics division. And he right now, most of the time he's in the Thailand forest, you know, working on some very exotic security projects with the US government. And we collaborated with him on some of the stuff that I'm going to talk here. The rest of my friends and folks are from Infosys. We are all ex-Infosys folks. These are some of the products that we have built in the last 6 years, and the story still continues. This gives me the confidence that, yes, it is possible to do some breakthrough innovation out of this country. So I'm going to go back a little bit, you know, because it's very important for us to understand the foundations of Internet. We talk about solutions, we talk about problems, but we are not confronting the foundations of Internet. So it's important for me to go back a little bit and see what has happened with Internet. So what's wrong with the Internet? You know, that's a basic question. It's important for us to ask this question because when we are looking at Internet, we all talk about man in the middle, man in the browser, man on the machine. I'm sure we should start also talking about women in the browser, women in the machine. But these things do not happen without any reason. You can as well have, you know, you can have an allopathic solution or you can have an Ayurvedic solution. I personally believe in an Ayurvedic solution. For that, you got to go to the foundation. So let's look at how Internet has evolved. You have the invention of TCP/IP. It was a US Department of Defense invention. It came out. It was built as a distributed communication channel for redundancy. Okay, it's important what I'm saying here. It was built as a redundant infrastructure. If that means information should flow from different places. Invention of HTML, that is phase 1. I call that Internet 1.0. The primary objective was to distribute information.